It looks pretty good, don't it? Yeah, all it really takes is one end. I got it slipped out. And guess what? Unfortunately, it is just a regular grade 8 3/4 bolt, but it's a 7-inch bolt. And I got a drawer full of 6-inch bolts. 6-inch just won't do that. That's only about 5/8, maybe 3/4 sticking out of the nut. So 6-inch just isn't going to cut it. I checked one on the other side. It's a 7-inch too. I think they probably work factory. But anyway. Yeah. Debate on what to do there. I can either bore that out and put a sleeve clear through and hopefully get it actually aligned properly the first time. Of course, I think I got a 3/4 reamer, so if I was off a little, I could ream it. It better be a 3/4 reamer. There used to be. Yeah, do that, get it stuck in there, then I won't get it back out. Maybe run a reamer through those just to clean them up. So, yeah, I'm just kind of debating. Do I leave it and just throw everything back together? Or do I just sneak in and throw some weld in there and clean it up? Really isn't a good way that way. And I say doing a sleeve, I got to get it bored out. And, well, the mag drill's not going to sit on here. It doesn't do any good to put it on there and drill this when, if I move the wheel right, that just moves. Ain't no way in hell I'm getting that in the drill press, which means it's by hand. So I'm just not sure yet. Really, almost the better thing to do might be to slide it back in, get it lined up, get the clamp bolts in, and then just try to drill it out to 7/8 through. But that's still not something I want to do by hand either. And there's not physically room to put the mag drill there. I mean, this is in the way, frame's kind of in the way. So, I'm not sure. I'm going to think on that for a while. In the meantime, it's just hanging out. I even thought maybe go to the next hole, but I hate to do that as much as this thing gets bounced. The farther out you are and the more bouncing you do, better chance you got of screwing something up. We could go in next hole in, wouldn't probably bother anything. We don't do row crops. And if this was slid back in, it lines up with the outside of that tire, so it's basically 8 foot. Oh man, what did I walk into? I walked into a spider web full of dog hair, I think. Interesting. Oh, we can look on the other side. Yeah, go figure. Wheelchair in the way. I don't know. Knock everything over in here. Let's see, they're even on the outside. It slid in to be even on the inside, I guess. But we already know. It's already been in these 2 holes. They've already wobbled those out. So that's kind of not an option, I guess. Still require the same thing. Although this one's probably in the best shape. No way to be able to use this one again, just can't get in far enough. And the Traveler wasn't in yet, so that's why I'm in here. The orb has come up now. So, yeah, fudge. That one's the one I want. It's Big Girl's kid. It's got that funky spot on her navel. I said it wasn't that way when she saw her yesterday or day before, but it was that way when I saw her. I'm just kind of waiting. I don't want everybody in here to go wigging out, and I don't want her to go out there, so she gets over here, I'll close it up. And oh, there's Sapphire. Hernia boy's in here somewhere. Oh yeah, 111 there. He let me scratch on him a little bit. Him and Hernia boy and another one started eating over here when I put the grain out. They were standing there waiting for me. So he actually touched my hand with his nose. And Hernia boy let me scratch him a little bit. And the other one, I touched it, and that was it. And the little turd's sneaking this way a little bit. See, I don't want them to all wig out. I don't want to lose her. So, and had a little fun this morning. Orlando Lakes rep we used to deal with, they did away with their reps in this part of the country, so now it's a guy I got to call at the mill. And yeah, he couldn't answer his phone. Apparently he was on it. Then he said for some reason he couldn't get his voicemail. So at least he called me back though. Got to talk to him. He had no clue who it was till we talked. He says, oh, how soon do you need it? And I said, oh, we can get by till next week, no problem. So Mom's decided she wants those yearling heifers back on the good grain, which will make it easier for me because I'll only have to have one tote back there in the back barn instead of two different totes with different product in them. So I'll get that done. That's Minnie's calf, 21 AZ. The Chrome Girl. Dancer's baby. Huh, yeah. Who are you? Just because, in case I lost track. Yeah, you're not the one I want. You're 721. She's got a brother in the back barn. He always says good morning to me. He's light colored like her too. Good looking steer though. Oh well, that's enough BS for now. I don't want to get too distracted and lose my target. Yeah, she's out faster now. Ty grabbed the thermometer that was in here. There should have been two. Should have been a dead one and a good one. And
I hooked it.
now she tells me
so that was the good one.
Because I think we were just going to put a battery in it and make sure it worked, or you know. Anyway, that one don't work now. So this is our last new one. But she's fine. It's in the cord. And it's almost broke off, so
I have a dent in my head.
we'll leave her alone. And yeah, she decided she does have a dent in her head. Her cut's over here, but her dent's right through here.
That's because I hit it all. And that hurts.
So, yeah, she's still feeling good this morning. It is what it is. Well, my parts came in, and I thought this is about where I saw some dust the other day when I was on the hill. 2 batches of crimson done there. 1 done over there. And looks like he's got some grass swathed. So, hey, things are getting done around here. That's what happens when I go to town for a few days. A week, 2 weeks, whatever it's been. I get to see something different every time. And Brooke came out with Blakely. Ty still got a headache. She don't want to bounce around on a little tractor. So I guess Brooke is going to go tether rake the neighbors. Ty's working on some stuff in the shop. And wait for this guy to see if he pulls out. If he does, he was going to get to see a big smacking as he got spun off that bumper on the front. Anyway, that's what to know. The town's only here in a few more miles, so get my steering arm and a bolt. Hopefully they got the bolt. They used to carry a pretty good selection of grade 5 and grade 8 bolts, but after the other outfit took over, I don't know how they're keeping up on that. So I may have to make another stop somewhere. Wow, things change when you don't go to town for a day or two. Last time I was by this place here, everything was still standing, of course drier than dry. And if remember last year they had one of those little bitty round balers. Now, I'm going to guess that maybe they got the neighbors that used to own this. That was sold off in a divorce thing many years after the divorce, but must have got them to do it because they're the only ones I know close with a round baler. And it looks like it was cut with a disc mower. So, hey, they apparently decided those little bales just weren't going to work out. Of course, they probably don't have anything to move the bigger bales. And I was going to show you a decent little grain hauling setup. The guy that's got the Crimson, it's all done. It's one of his trucks. He's got 3 or 4, I think. There's single axles with a dual drop axle, dual up drop axle, just a single drop. And he pulls a hopper trailer behind him, like a 16 or an 18 foot bed on the truck. And he says they're light enough, he gets a good payload on. And that would be Brooke out there. And the neighbor just called me, the neighbor's wife that has this. And, you know, he's not seeing as good as he was last year, so he's getting really frustrated. Always got to wait for these. At least it's only one, and he's actually trying to get out of the way instead of trying to get run over. He can't see well enough to run his tractor with the squeeze on it and do everything, so I guess we'll run the skid steer. It's got the squeeze on it anyway. We'll run the skid steer down there and load for him. It doesn't take long. I helped him a few years ago, and actually I can load his trailer in half the time he can. But that's just more experience than anything. That and the skid steer is a little more nimble. It's not like I'm slow with it. So, and hey, my parts, they're in that box because I took the box with me. The aftermarket arm is just a little heavier. It's a little bit thicker. Oh, come here. I don't know how it is thickness this way, but this way it's an 1/8 of an inch thicker here, and it's heavier through here, and the end's heavier. The stop's also a little heavier too, so we may have to grind a little off that, but the old one's in there too. Between this and shipping and the bolt, $147 and change, versus to get same as the old one that's lighter, was I think it was $438, something like that. Plus, you know, shipping was going to be 50 plus, I imagine. So that's what I know. I told you Rookie was out. Just got done. Got a little sun too. And somebody's been a little fussed, but she's in her whatever it is. Don't look like a swing to me. Growing. Eat a little tiny bit. Then go to sleep. Then get fussy. Then eat a little tiny bit. You know how them little kids are. So Oma here, she's just been having so much fun. Well, that's what we're doing. That's the side that's worn the most, and it's all lipped to the inside. Let's see if we can blow it up and see it. You can kind of see right above my fingernail. I actually went down that far with the weld. Give it a little more surface against the bolt. Fun part is there's a lot of die grinder work on that. Die grinders are a very wonderful tool, but God, I hate it because you get shavings everywhere. Even if you got coveralls, you'll find them in your underwear at night. Fun part is I gotta do this side of the bottom hole and do all the same stuff. Then I was kind of debating, but I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't think it's going to work. If there was a little bead here, that would help. Because it'd be pinched in here, but then it might get in the way there. And I'm thinking when we clamp it down, might have to take the torch. Don't want to do the top because the top is what all the pressure's on. pushing it. Don't want to take a chance of weakening that, but if we heat the bottom and let that clamp better. Or the other option is, you can see it because it's polished, but there's really, it's there, I can feel it, but it's not there. I could put a little bit of weld on there and grind it down until it fits in there, but it's best if it, the weld would be so thin when it was said and done, it just wouldn't be worth it. So, now I'm going to see how well I can light myself up and get the bottom done. And oh yeah, you got to clamp on something like that. It won't do much good to clamp over here somewhere, because every joint like this, you chance of losing your ground or not getting the ground through it at all. Clamp to the frame while I still got the pivot. It's going through everything. Right there, the almighty vice grip chain wrench. That works great on a lot of stuff like that. Oh, she came in. She just went down and moved that little traveler back out. Apparently her butt weighs less than mine. I was kind of showing you in the pickup. There's a little bit of a difference there. And just think, that one's $300, over $300 more than this one. Oh, well. We're going with the work smarter, not harder. I can sit here on the chair and lean over and get right into that hole from here. Save laying underneath it. And yeah, that's what happened when we did it. I can move it a little farther if I want. But, and yeah, she ain't new. Although all the parts were new in that, not really that many years ago. So, but just a thrust bearing. It goes up inside. See where the weld is there toward the top of the screen. It's just a shield. So
they should all be the same, which means they're right.
Hey, look at that.
Right?
That yellow one is from Maximus H.
I'm not firing on all
Yeah,
cylinders,
she just sneezed a couple minutes ago, and I thought her head was going to fall off. She's got a bigger headache now, but I told her compare them, make sure which side they're for, and they're going in the box
this
with the
was
others.
the single one, so one that wasn't tied.
Yeah, well, make sure the others match it. Otherwise, you put them on the wrong basket, they don't work so well. Oh, what do we got here? 7 of 05, that's when Dad tore that off. I thought it was on there somewhere. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to take the file to the inside of that. That's what I did on the other side. And knock the rust out of the hole so I've got a good clean spot to start. And then I'm going to light it up. And eventually I'm going to take the frickin' die grinder to it. One of the best investments I made many years ago. The Lear right angle die grinder. Had a little something happen. I think it loosened back up again. Yeah, I know it did. The left-hand thread nut that holds it together. It backed off and quit spinning. I'm like, what the hell? And I got it tightened back up. See, there's a punch mark where it was. It actually came around to about here, so I got to redo that. I just tightened it up so I could finish, and then the freaking collet come loose. Dropped the burr tool. It was laying down inside. That was fun. The little magnet didn't quite have enough oomph to get it out, but I got it over to the other hole and got in with a pair of pliers. But anyway, there we go. That's as good as that's going to be. I know it's still oblong, but that's as good as it's going to be. I'm not going to fight the rest of it. That's the way 99.9% of the working goes on it, and it fits tight. I still got I don't know how much of that I'm going to take off. I may leave a little hump to that, but I'm going to hit that with a flap disc. And we'll slide her back in and find out how tight we can get it. So, and yeah, the other hole ain't real round either, but anyway, these little buggers It's a burr tool that's on it. And the size of those burrs, that's the size chunks it chips out. Literally. Focus, 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 focus. That's better. And, well, let's see. There's a couple shiny spots. There's one right there. I just blew off too. Another one there. Two more there. Yeah, these pants will go in the wash. Hopefully they come out. Usually I put some sleeves on for that too, but I was kind of able to keep it from getting me too bad. There it is. It's back together. We'll find out tomorrow if I need to come in and cut a little off of that, but I mean, hasn't been hitting, so should be good, maybe. Threw washers on here just to keep the crappy thread from getting in, and I actually watched these suck in when we were doing it. And yeah, I actually put the torque wrench on. 3/4 fine thread grade 8, 420 foot-pounds. 3/4 coarse thread grade 8, 420 and 380. Well, my 3/4 drive torque wrench, 300's the highest thing listed, but then you got your increments past that. About 380 is what it gets to, and I don't have enough in my guts to pull that hard. I was braced on the tire and I was done moving it. I was even throwing my weight into it and never got her to click, so. And I really don't want to put a bar on the end of that. We did, however. Oh, I also tried that one too. And because those tend to not always stay tight, I did take the 3/4 breaker bar with a pipe on it. And all I did was turn the wheel about that far, and that's where I stopped moving. So it's here, it's done. Doug Kubush, if I said that wrong, sorry, Doug. He's usually in the comments. He usually comments sometime in the next morning. He said the John Deere 310 backhoes had issues with that arm for many years. And John Deere finally came out with an update. And the update was they give you a new arm with some epoxy. So I cleaned the splines up, washed them down good with brake clean. And for lack of anything better, I mean, I've got some epoxy here that would probably be totally awesome on there, but you'd never get it apart. Some stuff that Dad had, some special stuff that he used. I mixed up some JB welds, smeared it in. I filled the grooves on the shaft, and then I did the same just at the top half. Then I did the same thing at the bottom half on the arm. And slid it on there. And the only other thing we had to do was there was a washer there. This being thicker, you use the washer, you can't get the cotter key in. You almost get half a hole is all you can get. So that's what we did there. It's going to set like that until tomorrow because, well, let that epoxy set. Hopefully it'll set good enough by then. And then it'll get greased up. And I don't know if I'm going to get any cutting done tomorrow or not because we may be baling the neighbor's grass. I need to be getting on the other too, but you know, honest, it was so much nicer with pretty much 5 operators around all the time. Is we just went and did it. The only thing I did with the neighbor's grass was I usually ran the bale loader to put the hay in the barn here. Dad did most of the cutting. Hired man did part of the cutting. I did a little once in a while if need be. And between Dad and the hired man, they did all the small bales and all the bale wagon work. And I did all the big bales. And one of the girls, whether it be Becky, Tylen, or Brooke, one of them would rake for me. And then one of them, usually Tylen, would stack bales in the field. with John Deere, and I'd do all the hauling. So, you know, those times are long gone. So with 2.5 of us, we do what we can do. Thank God we don't have near as many acres to do as we used to, because it'd never get done. On the other hand, it'd be nice to have that many acres and have all the barns here full and the barn on the hill full and be delivering anywhere from 50 to 150 or 200 tons at harvest and then selling the rest all winter. But anyway, that's enough gabbing. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody had a great hump day and hope everybody has a good Thursday. And yeah, she might just be parked tomorrow. Let that epoxy do its thing, because you know, I'd rather have it set solid than not. Not like we don't have other stuff to do. And I'm going to go put this away. I'm going to put this somewhere too. That would be the ANI. I think the top number, I think, is actually Case IH number. And that one might be the ANI number. I don't know. But that's a good looking part. I'll put this back in the service truck before it gets lost. And put the video up.